So we're going to start to make the pizza recipe right now. This is the flour, this is the various ingredients. I'm going to add the sugar into it. The sugar goes in, I can mix the sugar and keep it. I'm going to keep the salt on the side. You can add the gluten improver and mix all of that up. Make a well in the center. You keep the salt on the side like that. So I'm going to mix all the yeast. I'm using instant powdered yeast. You can use fresh yeast as well. If you're using instant powdered yeast, make sure you're using half the quantity of fresh yeast. Add the water. Now as a thumb rule, I always keep only half the water in the dough initially, and then I keep adding as much as I require so that the dough doesn't get overhydrated. So I can keep mixing it right now. Keep mixing, and you will notice that this dough will come together very soon. But this is a lean dough, it does not have any oil in it, so that's the reason I'm only adding water. Add how much water is required. Once this makes a combine like that, you can add the salt in. This will ensure that the salt is not in direct contact with the yeast, and now the yeast gets a little bit of time for it to grow individually and is not impacted by the salt initially. Again, keep rolling till it forms a combine. It's very simple. I mean, you're just going around and around basically. In the oven, there's no real concept. If you're doing this in the machines, you need to use a hook attachment and go at a slow speed because you're emulating your hand action. Yeah, so don't go with a very high speed. Try to go with a very low speed, because in a classroom or in a normal domestic kitchen like scenario, you want to keep adding the water in gradually so you don't overhydrate the dough or don't overheat the dough. Yeah, this is formed a combine. I'm going to start kneading this. Now kneading this is going to take about give or take about 10 minutes or so of kneading by with your hands. So I'm just going to keep kneading this. So kneading it is very simple. You're just using your hand to press it against the table like this, and going to use both your hands at some point. Once one hand starts feeling tired, you can use the other hand as well. You'll start noticing that the dough becomes nice and supple, and at the same time it becomes very even in terms of in terms of its appearance. It looks very even and very smooth. At that time, you can start to take out the dough for a window pane test. So at this stage, I'm going to take it out for a window pane test. This test is really important because it will, if it stretches like that, it denotes that the dough is stretchable enough, and it can go in for the next step of the combination process that will be required for it to form a pizza. Now I've oiled this bowl. I'm oiling this bowl so that this dough doesn't stick to the bowl. I'm going to cover it up with a cling film, and I'm going to rest it for about 30 minutes. Now this this is very important because you need to rest the dough. Every time you work the dough, you need to rest it so that it gets well rested and gets a very good structure. At the same time, you need to ensure that you don't overwork the dough. Now this dough is quite lean, it's quite sticky, so you need to ensure that you have enough of the dusting flour and enough dusting semolina on the surface. So the reason we're using semolina here is because semolina helps to get a better crust in the product, and not just just dry out the product. It gives you a little crusty product, so that's very important. So we're going to just spread this all over like that and pop. I'm just going to plop this dough in the center of it, and I'm going to use my hands to make the pizza. I'm not using a rolling pin because I want my hands to kind of connect with the dough and make sure that the dough is nice and flat and it's responding well to me flattening it out, that denotes that the dough is breathing and it's alive and it's cooperating. At the same, these are very important factors for you to understand. A lot of pizza chefs will tell you that it's very important for them to feel the dough. That's very important at this stage as well. You need to feel the dough. Again, at this time you need to use as much as flour and as much as semolina. So it's a combination of a 1:1 mix, one part of semolina, one part of flour. And the flour we are using here is a maida. You cannot replace more than 80% of the maida with any other kind of flour. So if you're using 100 grams of flour in the recipe, as in this recipe it says 150 grams, you can only replace up to 130 grams, 125 grams of flour. 125 grams of flour has to be there, and the remaining of it can be any other kind of flour. So you can use ragi, or you can use atta or wheat flour, or any other kind of flour, whichever you would choose to use, you can use, but it should not exceed about 20% of the flour content. 80% always has to be flour. So here I'm just going to let this rest in the corner. Here I've flattened it out to about 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to place this on a tray. If you have a pizza pan, you can place it on a pizza pan, or you can place it on any container, any flat, even a flat plate where you can place it on that. But if you're using a stainless steel plate, make sure you use a butter paper underneath it so that it doesn't stick to the plate. Here I'm using a Silpat lined tray. I'm just going to unfold it like that. I'm going to flatten it out even further, so that I can then go ahead and make sure that I have a nice flat roundish pizza. Now this is basically going to go in the oven without any proofing, so I'm not going to rest it for any period of time. I'm just going to put the toppings on top of it, and I'm going to send this inside the oven. So it's as simple as that. Real simple. You can see what we're doing here. We're just kind of flattening it out. Next is to add the toppings. Now to add the toppings, ensure that you start off first with a tomato base. So it's called a concasse, which is basically a mixture of herbs, or olive oil, and a little bit of onions, and a little bit of blanched and peeled tomatoes. So you can omit the onions if you want. You can just keep a plain tomato paste. That also works well. So this is I'm using a proprietary pizza pasta paste. I'm going to make sure that I'm going to spread this out, but I'm going to keep an inch from all sides clear, so that there's no tomato paste on it. Now the second step that you want to go on top of this is, after you've put the tomato paste, you want to go in and put the cheese. So this is the anchoring cheese. This cheese element which you're going to put now is going to literally hold all the toppings on the pizza together. Yeah, so you're going to go ahead and do that. So after all the toppings have gone, we're going to put another coating of cheese on top. We're going to sprinkle it like that all over, and we're going to put in the oven. So the way you're doing it for the pizza, you're going to put all the toppings on top of it like this, and you're going to put it on the pizza in the oven. So while we started to roll out the pizza, the moment we took it out of the proof period, I started to already preheat my oven at that stage at 220 degrees Celsius. So you need a really hot oven. If you have a pizza oven, then it can go at 250 as well. No problem. This is a quick bake product. It doesn't need a lot of time. A little bit of onion on top like that. Some sauteed onions. So it's about a large onion that we have sauteed like that. Roundels of the onion that we've sauteed in just oil, without any salt, no spices, nothing. So this is basically just to add some flavor, because onions have a really nice caramelized taste and texture, and bring out a lot of flavor in the pizza. The next step is going to add a little bit of corn. I'm going to add a little bit of boiled corn. And the next step after that is we're going to add a little bit of sprinkle mozzarella on top as well. So the cheese here we are using is mozzarella. We're going to add a little bit of spices. You can add a little bit of herbs. I mean, you can go crazy, and there's no real limitation on what you can top pizza with. Traditionally, it's always just tomato concasse and basil leaves, but you can go crazy, man. It really doesn't make a big difference as to what you want to put on the pizza, as long as you're putting something that's that's ready to eat as it is, that is cold, and that is not too runny. Yeah, great. So I'm going to put the cheese on top of this, and we're going to put this in the oven 220 degrees for approximately around 10 to 15 minutes. So this basically is I mean, one of the other things that we're doing apart from the pizza is to make the pizza rolls. So just a different kind of a product that we've got here. I've divided my one dough that I had got. I've divided into 4 parts. I've rounded my parts. I'm hand folding it and hand flattening this as well. No rolling pin. So you saw me making one. I'm going to make one in front of you from scratch. It's a very simple way of doing it. What I'm doing is like a more so like a mini pizza or like a pizzette. It's like a really simple product to make. What I'm doing is just flattening it out like that. And after you flatten it out, what you're going to do is you're going to add the same thing which you did for the pizza. Add a little bit of tomato paste or a little bit of pizza paste on top of it, and we're going to spice it up with a little bit of spices. A little bit of we're using a pizza pasta spice ready mix. You can go ahead and use a mixture of thyme, a little bit of oregano if you want. I mean, sky's the limit in terms of what you want to flavor it with. Again, a little bit of mozzarella, and we're going to take a boiled and sauteed chicken Wenky's sausage, and we're going to just roll it like that, cover it completely, flatten the ends like this, and roll over. And this basically sits on this particular fold, so it has to sit on this particular fold. Once it's sitting on this fold, the product is ready to go. We're going to repeat this for the other 2 as well. So this is really simple. I mean, one of the things you want to understand when you're doing this pizza, pizza roll is that you want a product that is really easy on the palate. It's not got too much of flavor, and at the same time it's really yummy. And this is going to go into the oven at the same 220 degrees Celsius, but only for about 8 to 10 minutes. So this is going to cook a little faster. You can also bake this like a regular product at 180 degrees for about 5 to 7 minutes. So the pizza is done, pizza is ready. What you're going to do with the pizza now is we're going to just check the pizza out like that. I mean, it's really yummy. Use a pizza roller, guys, to roll your pizza. Make sure it's nice and flat. You roll it from side to side. You can cut 8 slices, 10 slices, smaller slices, larger slices, entirely up to you. I'm not going to get into the details of that. Cut as many slices as you want. Go ahead, make it tasty, make it yummy. And for me, the thing is, I'm not going to stop at one. So I'm going to probably have more than one slice of this yummy pizza. And knowing that I made it from scratch, all organic, all at least to the best of my ability and best of my knowledge, it's organic. So I'm going to have that yummy. So I'm just going to. You can see that that's cooked throughout. So you can see a nice golden crust, and that's done. Sorry, I had to eat it, and I can't stop at one. As I mentioned, I'm sorry, can't do it. I have to taste it. The chef has to taste. Thank you so much. Now going to it's yummy. So you got to give me a minute there. That's the leftover pizza. And here are the pizza rolls. So the pizza rolls are out of the oven as well. They're nice and yummy, nice and done. You can see this golden crust on it. And when you cut a dissection like that, you notice that you've got a nice, big, fat sausage right in the center. So this is it, guys. Thanks so much for joining us today. If you liked our video, do definitely share it with other people. Share it with people that you know at home, and to try out a recipe. If you want more recipes of this kind, or if you want to do some of these courses with us at our academy in Goa, definitely hit us up on www.foodiebreaks.com/academy, or you can also check out us on Facebook.